Hey guys, welcome back. I've gotten quite a few questions on Reddit and YouTube regarding my gimbal setup that I use for mountain biking. I've been using the GoPro Karma Grip stabilizer for about a month now, and I've taken it on several rides, so I have a pretty good idea of how it performs. I'm using the Karma with the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I was previously using the same camera with an Evo SS wearable gimbal, and my results weren't very good, for two reasons. First of all, and this is a well-known issue with the Hero 5 Black and virtually all gimbals on the market, in that the audio is extremely sensitive to picking up the motor noise. In fact, the noise was so bad it rendered the audio track virtually unusable. The second issue is that the Hero 5 Black is heavier than the Hero 4 Silver by about 40%. So the counterweight on the Evo wasn't able to smooth out some of the jumps I was doing in my videos. So on to the Karma. Let's talk about build quality first. The Karma has got to be the sturdiest looking gimbal that I've come across. The Evo SS wasn't bad, however the Karma feels more like a professional piece of video equipment in your hand. It's definitely not the lightest. I weighed the battery at 246 grams, and the stabilizer came in at 234 grams. But the bottom line is the Karma feels like it could survive a tumble or two. So the second question I get often is, how does the Karma Grip mount to my chest? The Karma comes with a standard GoPro mount ring that you install in between the stabilizer and battery. I just slapped that right onto the chest mount. You might be wondering how this feels. Honestly, I hardly ever notice it, and it doesn't interfere with my riding at all. Now I do angle the mount slightly towards my stomach, which makes it pretty stable. Now I do notice the chest strap flapping around quite a bit when I hit some technical sections on the trail. However, when I review the footage, it's amazingly super stable. I don't know what kind of wizardry is going on here, but I can tell you that it works. Also, a quick tip is to angle the camera ever so slightly downward, which you can just do with your hands. I found this gives you a much better POV because you can see more of the handlebars in the trail, especially if you're going down a pretty steep trail. It's worth mentioning that GoPro is coming out with a Bungie Extension cable in a few months that allows you to disconnect the handle portion and relocate it to, say, your backpack. I'll probably pick that up and write a review about it later, but just for kicks, I removed the handle portion and it felt very similar to other wearable gimbals on the market today. Alright, finally, let's talk about battery life. The good news is that the battery lasts way longer than GoPro says it does. I was able to run the gimbal for almost 3 hours straight, and I still had one LED flashing, which indicates about 25% battery life. The bad news is that the battery isn't replaceable. Which makes it even worse is that the grip is designed to charge the camera during use, which makes no sense to me considering the battery in the camera is replaceable. So after about 4 hours, you'll end up with a GoPro with 100% battery and a dead Karma Grip, making that spare battery in your pack virtually useless. Alright, in summary, if you own a Hero 5 Black and want a gimbal, this is kind of your only option at this point. The good news is that the Karma is extremely durable and the stabilization is rock solid. There are a few downsides. The weight might put some people off, and the non-replaceable battery is definitely a bummer. But overall, I've been really impressed with the Karma Grip and would highly recommend it, especially for mountain bikers. Alright, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed this review. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.